So Aaron Judge is on the IL again. Giancarlo Stanton is on the IL again. This is fine.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to...
Okay, look, the Yankees won 103 games last year. I know we're tired of talking about last year, but they won 103 games last year despite having the most injuries in Major League Baseball. So I'm confident that the Yankees can weather this storm of Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge both being on the injured list. Stanton is probably out longer. He's probably out a month. Judge didn't even want to go on the IL, so I feel like he could be back in a week. Unfortunately, the Yankees will play the second place Rays, who are very, very good, during that stretch. They come to Yankee Stadium after the Red Sox leave on Tuesday. So the Yankees are going to have to find a way to win that series. Really, you should dominate that series if you want to make a dent in the standings without Aaron Judge. And last year they had a phrase, next man up. And it was about who would step in and fill a role when somebody who was a key part of the lineup would go down, like an Aaron Judge or Giancarlo Stanton. But I didn't expect us to have to do that again this year. We hired that new training staff. We got Eric Cressey heading things up. And guys looked, pretty good for the first couple weeks. We haven't had a ton of injuries, but maybe there is something to this whole, bigger guys get hurt more thing. But I'm not sure I buy that because, look at Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal was 7 foot, 300 pounds, and he was playing in 80 games a season in basketball, getting hit by elbows and running up and down the court. Running after the free throws he would miss. So I'm not sure that there's anything to this thing about, bigger ligaments are, stressed more. I feel like it's just something in the way that these guys train. Maybe it's their diets. Maybe we should try and get everybody to go vegan, like in that movie Game Changers, where I forget what NFL team it was, but they did really well with injuries and productivity after everybody switched to vegan. I don't know, but if you're serious about winning a championship, you've got to find a way to stay on the field. And right now, Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton have proven unable to do that. I hate to say it because I love the guys. I love watching them play. Aaron Judge especially, he's on another planet in terms of talent when he's in there. Giancarlo Stanton, he just hits the ball harder than everybody. He hits monster home runs, but we can survive without Giancarlo Stanton because you can recreate Stanton. You cannot recreate Aaron Judge, and you definitely cannot recreate Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. Last year they did pretty well at it, but you can't expect that every year. But Mike Tauchman was one of the guys who stepped up last year, and he really stepped up last night. He had 4 RBIs. And what I love about Tauchman is his approach at the plate. Now, I see all the time on the forums and in the comments, people who say that the Yankees should play more small ball, that they should focus more on getting base hits, on moving runners, on bunting, on things like that, sacrifice flies, like the late 90s did, and not rely so much on the walks and the home runs. The problem is that the analytics will tell you that the easiest way to score in today's game is to put somebody on base and hit a home run. And the easiest way to get on base these days is to draw a walk because most pitchers can't hit their spots every time. Hitters know what areas to look for, where their swings are most effective, so they look to that zone. And also, it's tough to get a hit these days with all the shifts they put on. With all the data we have, we know pretty much where guys are going to hit the ball in any given at-bat. That's why the shifts are set up the way they are and why they're so effective. But Mike Tauchman is not a guy who is going to try for the home run every time. He's a guy kind of like a left-handed DJ LeMahieu, and we see what kind of hitter he is, who can use the whole field. He uses line to line. We've seen him hook balls to right field into the corner. We've seen him hit home runs to right field. And we've seen him shoot the ball to left field like we did last night. He went up the middle. He went to left center. His approach with guys on base is to take what the pitcher gives you and take the ball the other way if necessary. Anything to get those runs in. Losing Aaron Judge hurts for sure. But Mike Tauchman is a great guy to fill in and be a backup because, first of all, he's an amazing defensive player. He was right up there with Aaron Judge in terms of defensive runs saved last year, and neither of them played a full season. He actually played less games than Aaron Judge. I think he played 83 or 87 games, something like that. And he was second in the American League in defensive run save. So let's call right field defense, except for Tauchman's arm versus Aaron Judge's arm. Judge's arm is way better. let's call right field defense a push. Now let's talk about offense. So we know that Tauchman uses the whole field. He's not going to hit as many home runs as Aaron Judge. He's not as prolific of a power hitter, but he does offer a different look. He's from the left side, so he balances out the lineup a little bit. Now you can't just stack righty after righty after righty. You can fill in a lefty, in the middle of the lineup somewhere, who's going to balance it out and make it tougher on those relief pitchers who have to face 3 hitters now. Also, Tauchman is not going to walk as much as Aaron Judge because guys don't have to be as careful with him. But his approach is to get base hits, to drive in runs, to use the whole field. And he's got speed. He makes things happen. He's like a younger version of Brett Gardner, kind of a slap hitter. He has power. He did hit 13 home runs last year, but power isn't his game. He's an all-around player, and I really think he's an all-star caliber player. He had a 3.7 wins above replacement last year in half a season. That's basically, over a full season, about a 7-win season, give or take, if you factor in for some diminished, return to the mean in the second half. Tauchman is an all-star for sure. So losing Judge hurts. It hurts a lot, but we're only losing him, hopefully, for a week, maybe 10 days. And Tauchman is a great guy to fill in, to pick up the slack, to give the offense a little bit of a different dynamic. And I love the way he swung the bat last night. 4 RBIs, exactly what the Yankees need. So now let's talk about the $324 million man, Gerrit Cole, who I think was at his best last night. He didn't have that 14 or 15 strikeout performance, but this was the most dominant we've seen him as a Yankee. 7 innings, 1 run, 8 strikeouts. He really had it on cruise control pretty much all night. Whenever the Yankees would have a big inning and score a few runs, he came right back out and would have a quick shutdown inning, 1, 2, 3, maybe 10, 12 pitches. That allows the offense to stay in a groove, and you saw how that worked out. 10 runs, total beatdown. But what I thought was great about Gerrit Cole was that he showed that he can go to that next level, that higher gear. Even David Cohn mentioned it on the broadcast last night. There was one inning where the Red Sox put a couple of guys on base. They had second, third, and I think 2 outs. And you could tell that Gerrit Cole's fastball was a little crisper. He had been sitting 95, 96 for most of the inning, and then he was 97, 98, up in the zone. Nobody could square it up. He got a nice little easy one-hopper to Gio Urshela, which is money in the bank. You can hit a nice easy one-hopper to Gio. It's over. You might as well go sit down. Don't even run to first. So, great job by Gerrit Cole. This is the best we've seen him. And look, 20 straight wins during the regular season. That's nothing to shake a stick at. I know everybody doesn't appreciate wins. I still do. What do 300-game winners have in common? They were good pitchers. You don't see, losers, getting huge contracts. Gerrit Cole is a great pitcher, and wins, they matter to a degree. They're not. They don't tell the whole story of a pitcher. They shouldn't matter that much in Cy Young voting year to year. But when you pitch for good teams and you win every single time out, that means that you're keeping the opposition down and giving your offense a chance to score runs. So I love what Gerrit Cole does for this team, and I really hope that when he comes out there against the Rays next week, that he really sends a message and shuts the Rays down, because we're going to need to take that series. So James Paxton, last time out, I was kind of dreading his start because he had pitched poorly in his first 2 outings, and I didn't have a lot of confidence that he was going to get better because his stuff was worse. But his stuff got better last time. He was 93, 94 with the fastball. His spin rate went up as the game went along. Someone did an analysis of where he was releasing the ball, and his release point last year was considerably higher than it was for his first 2 starts, and that could be a result of the spinal surgery that he had. But last start, it consistently got higher, and his spin rate went up, and he got better as the day went along until he gave up 2 home runs late in the game. But James Paxton is a guy who's, when he's on, he throws 96 to 99 miles an hour. In the beginning of the season, he was 91, 92. Last time out, as I said, 93, 94, so he's getting better. That's a good sign. Let's see if he can build on that momentum and make it 2 good starts in a row. Pitching is a lot feel. It's a feeling out there when you're releasing the ball that everything just kind of clicks. And everything has to click perfectly to throw 97, 98 miles an hour. And James Paxton is a guy who, when he's on, will hit those numbers. Humans are incredible creatures. In our brains, we can create patterns that, we recognize trigonometry and stuff. That's how we're able to hit a baseball, but it's also how we're able to throw a baseball exactly where we want. It's how we're able to walk and aim ourselves through space-time. If I say I want to walk from here to my bedroom down the hall, I'm making a calculation that I'm traveling into the future and through space-time. That's no small thing. We take it for granted. But to hurl an object, if I say I want to take a baseball and throw it through that door frame, I've got to make an additional calculation of, where my arm is at an angle, how much speed and pressure to put on the ball, how to spin the ball, all that type of stuff. And James Paxton, after having surgery, it kind of resets your body, and you kind of have to build all that from scratch again. Some guys never get it. Some guys never come back from major surgeries to be premier athletes. But James Paxton showed a promising sign last week when he took a step forward and had a really good outing. So I feel like today is a big start for him. If he can put another good start together, he's going to feel good, and then he'll feel good heading into that next really important start against the Rays next week. Okay, so I want to take a quick look at some of the Yankees' stat leaders since we're about a third of the way through the season and get a feel for what kind of numbers guys are putting up. As you can see, Aaron Judge, losing him is a huge blow. 1.101 OPS. I have it sorted by OPS because I feel like that's the most important stat on base plus slugging. But you can see 9 home runs, 20 RBIs in 17 games. DJ LeMahieu is an absolute hitting machine. He's got 30 hits in 18 games, 429 batting average. That is stupid. Luke Voit has 5 home runs and 55 at bats. He's having if this was a full season, he'd be on pace for like 50 home runs. Gio Urshela, batting .271 with 3 home runs, 13 RBIs, got a very nice OPS of 863. And from there, we dip down to below average. Major league average for OPS is somewhere around 770, 775. It might be a little lower than that. But Aaron Hicks, who is off to a slow start, batting .208, 1 home run, 4 RBIs. But look at the walks. 15 walks in 16 games. He's walked way more than anybody else on the team. Gleyber Torres had 4 hits last night. That puts his OPS up to 619. He's going to have a big rest of this homestand. Mark it down. If you have DraftKings or one of these other these daily games where you can pick players, get Gleyber Torres. I'm telling you, his swing was on point last night. He was using the whole field, driving the ball all over the ballpark. He is going deep multiple times over the next few days. Another guy who looks really good right now to keep your eye on is Clint Frazier. I just feel like he's seeing the ball well. He's having good at-bats. He's got multiple extra base hits already in just 2 games. I think he's got 3 extra base hits. So he's a guy who can do damage. So keep him in your DraftKings lineup or whatever app you use. Keep an eye on him. He's going to move up these rankings fast. That is it for me. Please like and subscribe. Tell everyone you know that is a Yankees fan about this channel. I'm trying to get up over 2,000 subscribers. We're closing in on it, and I want to get there before the postseason. Going to do some fun things for the playoffs. So tune in for the postgame, and I'll see you next time.